Ka da shigowa a shirin da na sani wanda muke kawo muku a wannan tasha na Eagles 102.3 FM sunana Del. Makon da ya wuce muka yi dan hira akan wannan maudu'i na yau, kuma yau za mu samu mu ci gaba akan shirin, wato muna duba akan maudu'in da ke cewa bakar halakar yanar gizo da safarar mutane sabon filin yaki. Menene ya kamata a yi idan mun duba akan matsalolin safarar mutane? Yadda mu ma muke neman hanya mafita, su ma masu laifin su ma suna neman hanyoyi da za su iya su cutar da al'umma. Shi yasa wannan shiri ke zuwa muku daga wannan NGO da ake kira Media Coalition and Awareness to Halt Trafficking. Yau muna da babban bako wanda za mu yi wannan hira tare da shi. Idan kun ji an juya zuwa turanci, muna yi ne saboda masu jin mu na turanci su ma su samu dan sokacin bakinsa a shirin. Malam Bashir Shaidu shine CEO na NHOP Nigeria da kuma Foundation. Barka da shigo a shirin.
Thank you very much. Na gode sosai. Jama'a barkanku da warhaka. Assalamu alaikum.
So we will start with the English part of this program. So in case you hear a shift, we will be doing this in two languages. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. So you can go there and drop a comment. If you have an experience or you think a strategy that will work, we will be glad. Let's meet Mr. Bashir Shaidu. He is the CEO of NHOP Nigeria and Foundation. Good to have you on the program.
Thank you so much.
And let's meet you. Who is Mr. Bashir Shaidu?
Mr. Bashir is a tech bro.
As popularly called, the tech bro.
Tech bro. And I've been in the IT space for over a decade now.
Yeah.
We actually started the first innovation hub in northern Nigeria called NHOP.
Yes.
And we've been, trying to see that we build capacity of young people, especially in northern Nigeria, to see that we create opportunities for them to become, self-reliant and at the same time become independent of themselves. And as we know, we're diving deep into the digital economy.
That's right.
Technology is driving every process. In fact, I tell people that the future of work is already catching up with us. And the best way for us to begin to equip these young people for them to become global competitors is for them to have these technical skills. And that we have a whole lot of this, this skill that each and every one of us can actually, So it's not only meant for the traditional science students now.
Yeah.
So it cut across every discipline. So if you're an art student, you're studying accounting or whatever, you need to begin to equip yourself with digital skills.
That's right.
Without the digital skills, you'll be left out of the grid.
I agree.
It's as simple as that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Now, looking at the issue of the digital skills, and like I said in house eyes, the more we strategize on how to handle trafficking, it's like even the traffickers themselves are finding new ways. And like you said, it's not just for science students. If not, some traffickers will not do what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Using the dark web. Now, are there tools that traffickers or trends that traffickers use, on the dark web that people should know about?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, the normal Facebook, social media platforms that we use are areas where they can actually get some of these people. I know when you hear people say, people are diving into the dark web, I think for those that you see in the dark web are those that really want to do something shady.
Yes.
Seriously speaking.
Yeah.
Because normally a normal user of technology just want to just get one or two things done and whatever. So most of the time, those guys in the dark web really want to harm people, hack people, who want to do something fishy. So they call it dark web for a reason. It's because you want to do something. When you're in here and you switch off the light, nobody sees you. So you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So in the dark web, that's the same thing. So where I can hide my identity, where I can perpetrate all sorts of evil without people getting to know who this person is, without people getting to identify who this person is what they would want to do. So social media platforms are other areas where these guys can actually, do whatever they want to do. Now, let me tell you something very, very, amazing. When the terrorism, whatever, I think when America was having that serious issue with terrorism and stuff, where, and at the same time, they realized that most of the young people that were being recruited were even their citizens. And it was even from social media.
Wow.
Honestly speaking, it was even from social media that were being recruited by these guys, the fundamentalists and whatever. Wow. And it was as simple as that. So social media platforms are areas that these guys can actually, really do some of these damages. And another thing I want people to understand is people tend to wonder, how did these guys tend to get some of my
my information, yes.
Whatever. Now, what people don't understand is that we all use social media.
Yes.
Now, I know I'm guilty of this. I know you're also guilty of this. When you're signing up on all of these
Yes,
platforms,
yes.
they will tell you terms, and you're supposed to
Conditions.
agree on certain terms.
That's right.
You know what we do? We don't read.
We
don't
just scroll down to the end of the
thank
page.
you, and you just
Yeah.
give them the consent. And sometimes in that document, it's like a contract. I might tell you, I should be able to sell your information to whoever without you even knowing. And you're not reading, you're just agreeing. So at the end of the day, I can take this and sell it to people. You know, and those people can also say, I can sell this in the dark web for people that want people's information. It's a it's a data-driven it's a data-driven world.
That's right.
Data is power. So people are beginning to make money from this. That's why when you're hearing all these IP, intellectual properties and all those things, you understand. That's why people are trying to see how they protect themselves on these digital platforms. So it's critical. Please
It is.
read some of this, because that's how we tend to give those of this information absolutely free. So when people start to contact you and start to see that shady things are happening, it's simply because you've given your rights. So people are using your data to make money.
I think, or I feel like, with what's saying, sometimes, like you said, people want to do shady things. That's why they go to the dark web. If not, on a normal day, what would I be doing there?
Absolutely.
So there are a lot of people who want to. Now, let me narrow it down. I think it was last year that, according to a survey, Nigerians are one of the highest number of people who watch pornography. And so people go to those sites, and sometimes, like with the terms and conditions, even on the dark web, people don't check, they just accept.
Absolutely. In fact, when you talked about that,
Yes.
on most of these sites,
Yes.
that's where even the hackers have a free day. So I can even hack into, because when you watch some of these these sites, you
Yeah.
see all sorts of links coming,
Yes.
all sorts of things just keep popping up. And as
yeah.
soon as you click, they say it's baiting, as just like you baiting, to catch a fish.
Catch a fish.
As soon as you click on that link, some of these hackers have access to everything about you without even knowing.
Wow.
So that's why most people say it's dangerous for you to begin to share all sorts of information, especially on phone sites or on
Exactly.
sites that you don't really trust and whatever. So it's really, really dangerous. I think what you're saying is
It is.
absolutely
It is
right. So
dangerous.
we need to be very, very careful.
Last week, part of the discussion we had with our guest was the fact that he said the reason why traffickers are considering the dark web is because of the use of cryptocurrency,
Absolutely.
where somebody cannot trace, and all of that. But is it true that they actually, like these payment systems, actually encourage crime, sort of?
Absolutely, and if you notice, a lot of countries were already looking at how to, come up with policies that will help, regulate how, we work in that space. Because when you say crypto, when you say crypto, you encrypt.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to. So you're trying to hide
Yes.
your identity. You're trying to hide certain things. So normally it's very, very difficult for people to actually break down some of this things, to identify who these guys are. And you see the terrorist group, because the terrorists, I tell people, they're also involved in trafficking. Because by the time I'm able to groom someone
Yes.
and make that person leave their own comfort and come, and I provide logistics and whatever. How do those guys get to those places?
Good
They
question.
provide this logistics through this platform, so that you can't trace some of these things. So it's a 50-50 thing.
Yeah.
It's aiding the fintech space.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's also bringing another problem for us to really see how we can actually take care of this.
Sometimes when you find, I don't know if you've experienced it, when you see certain people are trafficked, when they become victims, you're like, but this person is a sharp person, now what happened? Is there a way that traffickers, is there a tactics that they do to your emotions? If you can just help us talk about it. What do they do to our emotions that manipulate people to becoming victims online? What kind of conversations do they have with people online? The manipulative languages that they use that get people to become victims, even though this person is a sharp person,
Absolutely.
but they become victims.
You see, that's why some of us are very, very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And there's what we call the grooming phase, because as soon as I get your information,
Yeah.
and I can establish that communication between us, I begin to ask you certain questions. Oh, how you doing? Do you have challenges with finance? And stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we begin. Who doesn't have challenges?
doesn't have?
You start. I'm doing okay. You're able to solve that particular problem at that particular time. The person begins to trust you. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. You keep showing that you care about that person. You show a whole lot of love. And they keep grooming those people. And at the end of the day, they are getting certain information. From these people. So at the end of the day, the main goal will be exposed later, but they want to gain that trust. So they do that to even young people. That's why I see we say, always check what your child is, watching or who,
online, yeah.
especially when they're on social media, because you have these predators everywhere.
That's right.
They begin to groom these young people, and they tell them, hey, don't tell your mommy this, don't tell your daddy this.
Yeah.
You might get into trouble, you might do this and whatever. So gaining that trust.
Trust.
So sometimes they also use certain tactics. For example, when maybe they see a girl that she's so much interested in becoming a beauty, I don't know what they call it. Is it
pageantry?
Yes, and whatever.
Yeah.
And they want to really get, I run a company that help a lot of young people. They share all sorts of information with you, and these girls get they begin to trust them. This person might be able to help me. They also shower you with gifts, so you can imagine you getting some of these things. You get some of the best clothes,
Yeah.
shoes and whatever, and say, see, I'm just getting you this, or you need to give them certain information and whatever.
Yeah.
Later I'll say, okay, we need a picture of you because we're trying to do something with it to see that some of these agencies see. You begin to send, so later you begin to ask more and more and more. Before you know it, he has some compromising
Yes.
information about
That's
you.
right.
Now he begin to tell you, if you don't cooperate, we will what?
Yes.
Expose some of this things,
That's
and you
right.
become that victim.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, you can't get out of this.
Can't get
And
out.
you know the society when you have conservative, right? So imagine your parents seeing some of these things on social, or
Online,
seeing you
yeah.
online, it. So you begin to do their biddings,
Their biddings.
and you're already in trouble. Sometimes when they also, how will I put it, get these people, they tend to get all your passport, for especially those that they take out, they get your passport, they get certain information from you that you can't, and at the end of the day, you are trapped.
You're stuck there.
You're stuck.
You're
So
stuck.
it's something that we really need to look at. Yeah.
Wow. I'm sure that our listener like to hear from you as we continue the conversation. You can drop your text messages on 090 97 05 4450 090 97 05 4450. So if you would want to call or send a message, you can feel free to do so on this number. We are also live on Facebook, and if there's any issue, maybe a situation that you want us to just look into it. Maybe you've been having a conversation with somebody, maybe somebody is talking with a young person around you, and you don't know how to go about it. Honestly, there will be help if you can open up and let's talk about this. All right, so now before we go into the Hausa part of this program, let's look at how the government, what can the government do?
Yeah, I think there's a body called NAPTIP.
Yes.
I think they've been doing
NAPTIP.
amazingly well.
Yes.
I think they can
They
can still do better,
That's
especially leveraging on emerging technology. Because for you to catch some of these guys, you need to also use the technology, also use
That's
it
right.
to groom and also get these people. So I know, and actually they're doing amazingly well because it is from them I started seeing on the news people that have been caught, and
That's right.
so I think they should just borrow a leaf from what the Americans are doing. They have certain platforms that you can go and report, especially when you see a person that is shady, that
Yes.
has a questionable
That's
character. You can report some of these things, and I know they also have this anonymous line that you can report
Yes.
people, because most times people don't want people to tell
That's right.
who these people
Yes.
stuff. So NAPTIP is doing well. So they should just have, I think they should have a platform, a digital platform where people can report, people can take pictures and whatever.
That's right.
So that you have those evidence that are very, very important. And they really need to have more people that are really, really tech savvy, because they also need to
Tech
go
savvy,
to go
important.
through some of this platform to see, because there's a lot of them out there. You can imagine millions of people using this platform. And for us, we're in a country where I tell people that almost 70% of the population of Nigeria are young people.
Exactly.
So the job, whatever, is not really there. So you can see what people can do with. So
Yeah.
these guys are having I call it a field day.
That's right.
Getting these young people that they are very, very vulnerable, and NAPTIP can do better.
Exactly.
And I really want them to also, punishment should be made. People should see when these people are caught and they are punished. They should be shamed.
That's
Exactly. Look, there's something that happened. I just want to.
Yes.
Something
Yes, go
happened
ahead.
in the US. They call the program "How to Catch a Predator."
Oh.
Yes, I think something Hansen that normally anchors those programs. So they set up command centers around where they have young people. Some of them are not really young, so they pretend they are young people and they go through this dark web. So you see all these predators there. They
And then
begin to
sometimes they even know how old the child
some
is.
have a lot
Yeah,
of goodies and goodies.
yeah.
So see, they keep grooming these kids. So on that program, they were able to catch a lot of these predators. In fact, why that program was shut down was simply because there was an American legislator, honestly, that was also doing that same thing.
Wow.
So when he was caught, the police came and they make it a live program, so people see them. So people were looking at privacy, people started
Yes.
looking at all sorts of, so they had to shut down. But at the end of the day, they were able to save a whole lot of young people in America.
I agree.
And stuff. So we should have something like, well, we can tweak it to suit our own, but I think we should have something similar so that we can control
Yes.
what's happening in the face.
All right, so we will still be waiting for your contributions while we switch to Hausa. We don't have much time. You can send your contributions on 090. Muna kan hira ne akan bakar halakar yanar gizo da masu farar mutane. Wannan ya zama mana sabon filin ki da gaske. To muna hira dai da turanci. Mun yi magana akan yadda wani lokaci kaga shi wannan bakar wurin sada zumunta da mutane suke amfani da shi ba su san cewa akwai illarta da yawa ba. Ko za ka yi kaɗan gaya mana kaɗan daga ciki menene yana iya zama ya wurin yana iya zama wurin safarar mutane.
To ka san kin san wani lokaci idan za mu yi amfani da wannan social media platforms din nan akwai wasu zan ce abu da mutane izini kuka ba ma social media companies din da kuka ba ma mutane akan information din ku. To idan ba ku karanta abubuwan nan ba kuka je kuka bada izinin nan, to wasu za su yi wannan information din ku su ce su sayar kuma mutanen da suke wannan abun a internet da sauransu. So ya kamata mutane su kiyaye sosai, especially in yazo lokacin da suke so su yi amfani da wani application a social media ko suna so su yi amfani da wani website da sauransu, su yi bincike sosai kamun su fara amfani da ita. In ba haka ba za a iya samun information ɗinka kuma a lokaci, especially a ce matasa, ana iya samun information ɗin sosai a fara in suna da damuwa ne za a iya taimaka musu da sauransu, to with that za a iya cuce su.
Wani lokaci za ka ji kamar zumunta wato social media kenan, mutum zai gaya musu cewa akwai aiki a gasa kaza amma kar ka gaya wa kowa, kar ki gaya wa kowa. Wani lokaci sai ka ga matasa ba sa so su faɗa da gaske saboda wanda zai ba su aikin ya ce kar a faɗa. Akwai kaman wannan yana iya zama matsala?
Sosai fa.
Okay.
Sosai ko don a lokaci, in many cases zai ce a lokaci da yawa wallahi wannan aikin da ake abun nan ba aiki bane. Mun san abin da ya faru a Libya kwanaki, matanmu da yawa haka aka yaudare su aka kai su Libya, aka ce za a ba su aiki ko Saudi Arabia ne ko ina, ko za a ba su aiki da su me za su ce muku za muku passport, za su sa ku a jirgi. To ke yi tunani wasu 'yan matan da ba su taba shiga jirgi ba kuma za ce za su samu dala, za su yi kaza, sai a musu komai, daga baya aka kai su can kin san abin da
ba aiki haka, yaudare shi ko
yaudare su a sa su a aikin karuwanci, a dinga kai ba na son mai da abun ba da daɗin, wallahi bai da daɗin ba. To kuma iyaye kuma suna nan za su ɗauka ai yarinya kiyaye, kuma wani lokaci ya kamata, in fact nake a wannan 21st century din da technology ya sa komai, an ce komai na sauri yanzu, ya kamata iyaye su dinga su san me yaran mutum, wallahi so dole ne mu kiyaye musafiri. Kuma religious house mu sun malaman mu da coci da sauransu, ya kamata abubuwan ya kamata a ringa maganar shi, don gaske abubuwa suna faruwa sosai a wannan space din su.
To gaskiya lokaci ya dan gabato, amma muna fata idan mun kuma za ka zo mu samu wannan hira.
Zan zo.
To shikenan, to ya riga ya ce shirin da kuke sauraro yanzu muna nan live a Facebook, wato sashen sada zumunta na Facebook kenan da kuma YouTube. Muna so mu ji ra'ayoyinku akan wannan maudu'i namu na yau. Yaya ne kuna ga kaman mutane mugaye suke yaudaran matasanmu har yana kai ga safarar matasa? Ana ɗebo matanmu yadda shi babban bakonmu ya faɗa, a kai su garuruka su je su zama abin tausayi. Muna so mu ga yadda za a iya a taimaka a magance wannan matsala. Saboda haka ana iya jefe Facebook aje mana ra'ayoyi, kuma idan ana samun matsala ko wani ya zo ya same ka ko wani ya zo ya same ki, 0913 359 1611 0913 359